Hey fellow gliders, welcome back. Today we are going to take a look at how to create a badging system in your app. So this is going to be a way for your users to collect badges and earn badges and display them on their public profiles, so then that way they can show off the badges that they've earned. To get started, the first thing we need is a table full of the possible badges. So I've already created that here in my data editor. I've created a sheet called badges, and I have a variety of badges. Some of these are going to be ones that they can earn automatically in the app. Others of them are going to be ones that are going to be manually awarded by the admin. So here I have the name of the badge, a description, and an image for the badges. For the image, I'm using a website called Open Badge Designer at badge.design. It's free to use. You can create some nifty looking badges here and then download them as image files, which then you can upload to Glide. Okay, afterwards, I also have a couple of requirements. So in order for the users to earn the badge, we have to check to see that they have earned it somehow, right? And each badge might have a different requirement based upon something else that's going on in the apps. For example, these first three badges are all about challenges. So we need to take a look at how many challenges they've completed. Whereas these bottom three are taking a look at how many bosses they've defeated. So because they have different types of requirements, I have those requirements in different columns. So each requirement is going to be in its own column. And then I'm going to have an if then else running per requirement as well. We'll talk about that in just a second. Okay, then I also have here the amount of XP that we can award. So if you want to give awards along with the badges, you can do that here. So like when they've earned this badge, they also give them a bonus of XP or a bonus of gold. This is completely optional. You don't have to do this because they're probably already going to earn XP and gold when completing the challenges, right? But if you want to give them an additional bonus, you can certainly do that here as well. So I'm going to give them maybe additional 10 XP and additional 10 gold for defeating these bosses here, maybe. Okay. Now, if there are any badges that they're not going to be able to earn automatically, but ones that are more manually assigned by some app admin, then you can leave the requirements blank, because at any point in time, you can just go in and give them the badge. We'll build that functionality here in the app as well. You can see that these three badges don't have any requirement because these are three I'm going to award manually when the user has earned them. All right, to keep track as to who has earned each badge, we need to have a column here for owners. We could also do a badge log, but that's going to eat into your row quota. Just like we have a challenge log here, we could have a badge log. But I'm going to show you a way that we can save rows by just adding a list of owners here into each cell. So then that way we can keep our app nice and tidy. We're also going to want a user-specific column here for the user to claim the badge. So that way they can't claim it more than once. So I'm going to create a new column here. I'll call this claimed on. And this will be a date-time column. And I'll make it user-specific. It's at this stage you're going to have to do a little bit of thinking in order to create the logic behind whether or not somebody has earned this badge. We know that they're going to earn this challenge badge based upon how many challenges they've already completed. But how do we make that count for the individual user? For challenges, we already have in our challenge log here, our challenges sheet, we have this split column that we did about who it's been awarded to. Right? We've already awarded these emails here, right? So that means that we can do a relation from our user sheet to this awarded to figure out how many challenges each user has already completed. So if I go to users and I go and I create a relation to the challenges completed, let's make sure I don't already have that. I would have called it rel challenges probably. Nope, I don't have that yet. All right, so I'm going to create a new column and call this rel relation to completed challenges. I'm going to do a relation where I'm going to match the email address to the challenges split awarded to. Match multiple. So we can see that this person has earned one and this person has earned one so far, right? So now I can get a count of earned or count of completed challenges by using a roll-up column. And I'm going to summarize the completed challenges and just grab the challenge title. It really could be anything. And I'm going to grab the count. Okay, so now I can see that this user has completed one challenge so far. Now, if I'm signed in as this user, I can bring this value right inside of our badges sheet by using a math or a template column. So I'm going to create a math column here, and I'll call this current user completed challenge count. For the configuration, I'm going to put in any variable that I want. I'll just put a C. And I'm going to replace C with the user profile count completed challenges value that we just created here. Okay. So you see it populates 1 on every single row because it acts like a template column, but we're only going to check against this column of our challenge requirement. Again, this is the reason why I'm creating a separate column for each requirement type per badge. That way these ones won't look at my boss requirement here because those values are empty. All right, now to determine whether or not they've earned this badge, we can just do a simple check between the requirement and the count. So now I can see has earned challenge badge. And this would be a true false. So it'd be an if then else. I'm going to say if the number of challenges the user has completed is equal or greater than the requirement, the challenge count requirement, then true, else false. Okay, so now we can see that this person has earned this badge. And actually, we can probably do just has earned in general. We can probably just create additional conditions here for the other badges. So that takes care of our challenge. What about bosses? All right, let's go to our bosses sheet and see what values we can leverage. So we already created some logic here as to whether or not the boss was defeated, because that's what we're looking for here. And we're actually displaying the status of being defeated if they have earned it. So now we can just generate a true false off of this. So I'm going to clone this status. And we're going to keep this same exact condition, but instead of marking it as defeated, we'll just say true. And then we're going to get rid of all of the other conditions and say false. Done. All right, so I should have the value of true for the ones that I've defeated, and these are false. And now I can grab a count as to how many I've defeated. All right, so if I go back to my badges sheet here, I should be able to do a roll-up of how many bosses I've completed. So I'm going to create a new column. We're going to make it a roll-up. And we're going to summarize the values of bosses has defeated. And we're going to get the count true. So this is one of the benefits of using a Boolean type and then rolling up a Boolean is because you can count how many are true or how many are false. So I'm going to click on count true and we see that my value is 3 because I've defeated 3 bosses. And this is user specific because that status is user specific. So I'm going to call this current user defeated boss count. Okay. Done. And now we can tap into this same if then else here, but we're going to take a look at this column, this required boss count. So we're going to add a new condition here. We're going to say if the current user defeated boss count is greater than or equal to the requirement boss count, then true, else false. And the result is such. So now we can see that we've earned this badge and this badge. And so even though we've earned these badges, we haven't claimed them yet. So we need to build some sort of interface now for the user to claim the badges. And I think one way that we can get this to work is we're going to have them mark a timestamp here when they go to claim the badge. That way the button to claim the badge goes away if this is filled in. And then it's going to add their email address to this list of owners here. So my plan here is that in the owners, we're going to list out their email addresses, for example, the first email address, comma, second email address, and so forth. And then if your email address belongs to one of these, then you know you've earned the badge. In order to add your email to this list, we're going to do some array magic here. All right, so the first thing we have to do is turn this comma separated list of email addresses into an array. And to do that, we can just split it. So we're going to do split text, and we're going to call this split owners. Oh, let's call this, split owners is fine. We're going to split the list of owners by the comma. Done. All right, so we can see that our 1, 2 has turned into an array of 1 and 2. Okay, next we have to add our email address to this array. And to do so, we can use the new make array column. So I'm going to do make array, and we're going to call this split owners plus current user email. And we're going to add 2 array items here. The first item is going to be the owners, the split owners, right? But the second item is going to be my email address. So that's under the user profile, email. Okay. And now you see that your email address has been added to the list of existing owners in preparation for us to take this value and write it back to the owner sheet. So the last step here is to convert this array back into a comma separated list. That way, when they go to claim the badge, we're going to replace this 1, 2 with 1, 2, my email address. So to convert an array into a comma separated list, we use a join list column. So I'm going to create a join list column, and we're going to call this split owners plus current user email joined. Okay. Really long, sorry. But okay, so then we're going to join the texts in this array of split owners plus current user email. And so now you can see that our array has been converted into a string of comma separated values. So the process is going to be, they're going to see that a badge has been earned. So there will be a button to claim the badge. When they claim the badge, we're going to take this value that's in waiting right now, right? Take this value and write it here to owners, mark a timestamp, and then change the interface so that they can see that they've claimed the badge already and can't claim it a second time. All right, lastly, we have here the split owners. So we can do a relation between the users and this list of owners to see which users have earned which badges or have already claimed the badges. Right, so in the user sheet here, I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to create a relation to earned badges. And we're going to relate the email address to the list of badges, split owners. It's got to be the split, not the other, because this is the array and match multiple. All right, so even though I've earned a badge yet, you can see that I haven't claimed any yet, which is why this is empty. All right, so now we get to build the interface for earning badges. So back in the layout view, we're going to go ahead and create a new tab. We'll call this badges. We can actually just use the badges sheet, which is fine. Label badges. Let's pick a nice icon. I believe if we search for something like reward, we might have something, this guy. And we can see these are a list of all of the badges we've earned so far. Or sorry, these are the list of all of the badges and whether or not we've earned them. So if we wanted to create some sort of status as to whether or not you've claimed a badge or have earned the badge, then we can create that logic here in the badges sheet. We can do an if then else here and call this status. And we can say if they've claimed it, if claimed on is not empty, then we can say claimed. If they've earned the badge and haven't yet claimed it, so if has earned is true, then we can say claim now. Otherwise, we could say nothing or unearned or something like that. Let's leave it blank for now. All right, so we see that I'm prompting them to claim it now. We can display that somewhere in here. Maybe we show this as a list of tiles. And we can, let's see, something like this maybe. And the tag can be the status. Claim now. Maybe circles. No, circles don't have tags. So squares. And then we don't need to show the description. So claim now. Claim now. All right. And maybe we can say that the badges that they haven't earned yet, we can gray them out so they're less visible. Right? So to gray them out, all we have to do is take this image and run it through a Cloudinary filter. So I'm going to duplicate this image. We're going to call this image gray. And if you've ever used Cloudinary before, it's fantastic. It lets you have like Photoshop on the fly using URLs. So all you have to do is create a template column, and you use this schema. So we do HTTPS. Then res.cloudinary.com / we do / then the user account. If you have your own Cloudinary account, you can put in your username. I typically just use Glide's because they pay for it anyway. We use Glide, and then we have image, and then fetch. So we're fetching an image. And the image we're fetching is the image column. So I'm going to have some sort of variable here, like the @ sign. And the @ sign is going to represent the image URL. And then what you do is between the / after the fetch and the @ sign, you create the parameters, or you create these modifications that you want. So I know, because I've already done this, I can make images opaque, or just the opacity by doing O_ and then the percentage opacity. So I could do like O50, and that would make the image 50% transparent. I could also throw it through grayscale by doing something like either a comma here. I could do E_ grayscale. And then you do a / to wrap that up. So all the parameters that you need in order to adjust the image, you kind of throw inside of / in between fetch and the actual image URL. All of this is outlined in Cloudinary's documentation. All right, so if I hit done, all right, if I take this URL, copy it, and paste it somewhere, and here you can see that the image is now an opaque gray version of the image, which is pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to say as long as they've earned the badge, they can see the color version of it. Actually, maybe not. Maybe only if they've claimed the badge, they see the color. So we're going to create one more if then else column here. We're going to call this if image, if then else. And we're going to say if they've claimed it, so if claimed on is not empty, then we'll do the full color image. Otherwise, we'll do the grayscale image. All right. And so now the tiles, instead of showing the image, we'll show the if image. And now all of them will be grayed out, right? But at least now we have this bright blue banner here that says claim now. So we can easily see that, yes, I'm ready to claim this button. Okay, so there's 2 that I get to claim here, right? All right, I'm going to click on this badge. And let's configure this a little bit better. For the title, we'll make it a card view. I'm just going to do this real quickly here. Feel free to change this as you see fit. Name, description is fine. Image will be the full color image. Well, I don't really like that because it kind of gets hidden. So maybe I'll just do an image component on top here. So I'll do image, and then this image will be the full color image. And we'll make it inset, but they see the whole thing. Here's the name of it along with the description. Trash everything else. Well, maybe if there's a reward, they can see the reward. So I'm going to add a basic table. Reward bonus. And if there's an XP bonus or if there's a gold bonus. like so. So maybe if there's no bonus, we don't want to show the table at all. That's fine. We can leave it. All right. And then finally here, we have a button to claim the badge. Okay. So this would be claim now. So when they push claim now, we need a few things to happen. We need to set the timestamp for the claimed on. We need to give them their reward bonus, and we need to mark their email address inside of the owners. So then that way that relation gets brought through. All right, so the one thing that I didn't do here yet is build a conduit for us to earn the bonus. So what we have to do here is do two things. First, we have to grab the current user's email. So current user email. So we're going to do a template, user profile, email. And then we are going to relate this back to this user. So rel current user. So in relation, current user email, users email. Okay, so claim now. We're going to set the action on this to have a complex action because we need to do more than one thing when they push that button. So we're going to create a new action. We'll call this action claim badge. And what we're going to do here is first, we're going to do a set column. And in this record, in that row for the badge, we're going to set the claimed on to be the current date and time. And the owners, we're going to override the list of owners with the split owners plus current user email joined. Okay. Next, we're going to award them points. So we need to have an increment, and we're going to increment not through this item, but through the relation to current user. And we're going to increment the XP by the XP reward. And we want to increment our gold. Again, in the relation to current user, we're going to increase our gold by the gold reward. Okay, then we can do a couple other things. Then we can go back a screen, and we can play a sound, and we can show a notification, like badge claimed. All right, and save. All right, so just so you see it, on this fifth challenge, we see that we can't claim any badge yet. There's no button because we haven't yet earned it. Right? But for this first challenge, we have. When we push this button, we should earn our bonus, which in this case is 0, and it should take us back a screen, play the sound, show that we've earned it, and change our status from claim now to claimed. There we go. So now we see that we have claimed this badge. And the button goes away because we've already claimed it. If you want, we can actually show a hint text here. And maybe the hint text has the status in there. Something like that. I guess we only want to show this when claimed on is not empty. All right, so we see here, I can also claim my boss battles. Now I've claimed it. Well. All right, for displaying our badges, we've already created the relation between our user and the owners of the badges, and we can display that maybe down under here. So down below, I'm going to create an inline list. And this will be the relation to completed badges or earned badges. All right, so these are the two badges that I've claimed so far. And let's display them as tiles. We'll give them the title of badges. And the tiles can be circle. Oh, let's make them square and tiny. And without any title at all, just the image is fine. Because then when they go to click on it, right, we'll see the image here. Okay, I'm going to copy this component. And then I'm going to come over here to the guilds tab and select one of the guilds, because here we have the list of people who are in that guild, which are then linked to their public profiles. And I want to show the list of badges on their public profile as well. So I'm going to select one of the members here. You see that we don't really have anything in here except for the person. So we could actually add a couple of things here. The first thing, I guess, is the title with no image. Just the username and their class maybe, right? And then I can paste their list of badges. And see that this person has 2 badges, but this person has 0 badges. All right, so all this functionality works in terms of having the user claim badges, but if we want to have an admin be able to award badges, we need one more feature set. So what I'm going to do is create another column here that's going to house a list of email addresses that allow a user to have earned the badge manually. Great, so our badges. So now we have some functionality for users to claim badges that they have earned, but what if we want an admin to award badges? So what we're going to do is we're going to create a manual has earned column here. We're going to go ahead and just add a new column. So I'm going to add a column to the right, and we're going to call this admin awarded to. And this will have a list of email addresses of users who are able to claim a badge manually. So it's going to be a text column, but it's going to have a list of email addresses inside of it. Done. Okay. So for our has earned, we're going to check for one more thing. We're going to check to see if the has or admin awarded to, does it include the signed in user's email, the user profile email? If so, then true, they have earned that badge. Done. Okay, so now we just need to build out a way for admins to add email addresses to this column. So let's say I want to award this chat cat. What we can do is we can come over here to the edit form and turn it on, and we're only going to allow admins to access it, where user profile is admin is true. So editing it, we can see that this is the name of the badge and the description. We can adjust the XP and the gold if we want. So let's give them 10 XP and 20 gold. And then we can also have a choice component that's going to write to the admin awarded to. So I'm going to add in a choice component. And this choice component is going to be written to the admin awarded to. We'll call this award badge 2. And the values are going to be the email addresses of the users, but we recognize them as their username. So we're going to display it as the username. We can do more than one person. It does not need to be required. And under options, we're going to sort the list of users by their username in alphabetical order. Okay. And maybe we're only awarding this badge to users who have not yet earned it. So we're going to filter this list to where email is not included in the list of owners. Screen owners. Okay. Screen means the current screen we're on, and then owners meaning that's the people that have already claimed the badge. All right, so since no one has claimed this badge yet, right, we have the full list of users. So award this badge to Glide Guru, hit done. Let's give it, again, let's give them some reward here. Done. Okay, so now Glide Guru is able to claim this badge. Right, shows as being claimed now. And so now the user can come in and claim the badge and earn their prize. And now I should have some additional XP and gold. If I go back into that badge and I go to award it to somebody else, we can see that the Glide Guru is no longer in this list because I've already awarded that badge to him. And just to make sure my bottom menu here isn't getting too clogged, I'm going to drag my badges over to my menu. And now we have a way for users to claim badges that they have earned, as well as a way for admins to manually award badges in bulk to users that they seem fit. If you have any questions at all, feel free to leave me a comment below or reach out to me at Twitter @rpetito. And as always, thanks for watching.